Well, folks, Lupin Ranger vs. Pato Ranger is ending, and I wanted to just kind of talk about where Sentai is, what Sentai is to me, and just kind of give my background on it, because I'm going to, for mostly my own enjoyment, probably be talking about Ryusoulger. I don't know if we're supposed to be saying it Ryusoulger or still just Ryusoulger. I'll probably say soldier with the L. Yeah, we'll see if it's pronounced in the way they say it. But regardless, I think I'll be talking about it kind of episode by episode, just for fun, see if anyone's interested, or at least to get my thoughts out there somewhere other than the void that is Twitter. To start, I want to just talk about Sentai as a whole and what it is for me. I, like a lot of people who watch, started it as a Power Rangers kid. Not right when it started. I was born in 94, so by the time I could really remember watching, I believe In Space was airing. I remember the premiere of Lost Galaxy. I don't think I was watching for the premiere of In Space, but there were a lot of reruns of the old series, so I caught a lot of that early era, and I watched a lot longer than any of my friends. Honestly, even when I was in like first grade, I had friends who were like, "Oh, you're still watching that?" And that was weird to me because I had barely really talked to friends about it up to that point. But I watched up till Dino Thunder, actually. And then I stopped because I was getting what would be considered too old for it, and I was not looking to get made fun of for things, and I figured if someone found out, I was screwed, so I kind of just washed it away and let it go, and I did let it go for a while. And then in high school, I don't remember how this happened, but I kind of just randomly was like, oh yeah, Power Rangers was a thing I watched when I was a kid, and before I knew it, I was watching all of Zio and RPM on YouTube because they were up there, and those seasons in particular because Zio was the one I missed. I don't know how, but that was just one I never caught reruns of. I don't know if there just weren't as many reruns or what. And then RPM, because at the time, Power Rangers was not on TV anymore, so it was the most recent series, and I'd heard it was good, and I watched them, and I liked them. And then, through just Googling things, you find out about Super Sentai, and one day I'm talking about it to some friends at school, and a buddy's like, hey, you talking about Super Sentai? I watch that. I know where to watch that. You want to watch that? And that's where I got my start into Sentai proper, and that was with Gokaiger. It was right around the premiere, too. It timed out well. So 2010, 11? I don't quite remember. I want to say it was my junior year of high school. So it would have been, that's the 2010, 2011 school year. So somewhere in there. And I have been watching ever since. I have watched every airing show since Gokaiger, as well as going back and doing back. I feel like I said bath. Anyways, going back and watching a healthy amount of the older shows. I want to say, as I'm recording this, I have watched like 15 seasons total, something like that. I'm watching, aside from Loopat, which is in its last few episodes now, I'm also watching Kaku Ranger right now. Yeah, I've seen a good amount. And I love it. I love Toku in general. I love Sentai in general. It was easier to get into with the Power Rangers background. Like Kamen Rider took a little pushing, and as of this recording, I've watched one Ultraman show, so that's me not doing my homework. But I really do love it. For a long time, I was a Sentai guy over a Rider guy, even once I was getting into Rider, and lately that has not been the case. The last season I loved was Kyoryuger. The last season I liked was Juoger. But everything else from Tokyuger onward has just not been my jam. And I mean, I know plenty of people who love seasons in that spread. And that's good. That's cool. I like when people like things. This is not about me ranting about seasons you shouldn't like or something. But it hasn't been doing it for me. And I don't know if it's picking up on the formula more, because I think of the Toku shows, Sentai is the most formula driven. Not even just like episode by episode, fight monster gets big, fight with robot kind of thing, but more like actual tropes and plot usages and trope episodes seem to be reused more. And maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say that's it, because there are other Sentai I've watched recently that still have those, and they don't do that problem. I could list my problems with recent seasons one by one, but I don't want to do that. And now we're approaching this weird point with Ryusoulger. Well, first we have to watch our mini-series to remind us all that we love Sentai by bringing back a bunch of characters we all care about, and Takaharu from Ninja, but that's a thing. But with Ryusoulger, I will admit, I am in the camp that is worried. I have seen a lot of people talk about why they're worried, and I could list all those things, and if you're into Sentai, you probably know what those things are. I know also some people are saying people are overreacting, and I think there's some credence to that side as well. Little things to go through quickly, because I feel like there's no point in harping on this because everyone has, but I do see the Kyoryuger things, and that worries me. It has only been 5 years. It is only the 4th Dinosaur Sentai in a series that has over 40 seasons, so I can also see why that can be seen as exaggeration, but it does feel quick to go back to it. I have one major concern. One real big concern, setting aside all the aesthetic similarities and stuff. It's more, Sentai's in trouble. That's the news that keeps going around based on toy sales and ratings and the fact that they're doing this like special and stuff. And a lot of the narrative is, okay, Sentai's in trouble, we're going to do dinosaurs because dinosaurs have sold. All the dinosaur series have sold well. My fear is that people at Toei and Bandai think that a popular gimmick is all they're going to need. I'm worried that there is a room of executives who said, well, let's just do dinosaurs because that will sell and then it'll fix everything. I'm worried that no one in that studio is saying, maybe it's the writing, maybe it's the structure, maybe it's things about the story we're telling and not just the toys we're trying to sell. Because that's for me, and I know that I'm saying this as a 20-something, American fan watching fan subs, so not the target audience. That's what it's been for me, though. It's been the writing that I haven't enjoyed. It's been, it can be plot things or character things. It depends on the season. There have been some cool gimmicks in these last few seasons, and they've looked cool. Ninja looks awesome. Q-Ranger has a really cool aesthetic and idea. Loopat's a great concept, but it's been execution. And I really, really hope that that's something that's also being talked about. I've read some things where apparently people on the team have said that the night theme is going to be stronger than the dinosaur theme. I hope that's true. I never know with Toku stuff online what's rumor and what's confirmed at this point. You learn to just not believe anything till it's in a magazine scan. And that's a big deal too. I also think that with Toku, you should never judge what a show's going to be like based on summaries and magazine scans. Not entirely. Don't go in saying this is going to be bad or this is going to be good. It's okay to have hopes or, doubts, but don't buy all in. And part of it is, it's a toy selling thing, and it's a lot of like, I'm going to get the toys early. Now I like it. I want to get them while they're easy to find, and I get that. I always wait. Part of it's budget. I can't usually afford to really get in on toy lines, especially when they're gimmick focused, but I like to wait and see. I also have a little personal mantra, and that's going to come up after however episode 1 goes. I think every Toku show has a good episode 1. I think it's because they have to sell you on their premise, and they spend some budget in places they won't throughout the rest of the season. I think every Toku episode 1 is going to be good. The closest I've come to not thinking that was probably episode 1 of Zio, Kamen Rider Zeo, not Power Ranger Zeo. But even then, I enjoyed it. I think Toku shows you need like 10 episodes to get a feel, to be honest. Like with most things, I'd say 3 to 5. I think Toku, I don't know why, but I wait to feel it out. And I think it's because I care. I really, really do care about the genre. You know, I know it's for kids and stuff, but I really do love it. It's kind of my favorite thing in general, in media, which feels weird, but it is. I love it to death, for, you know, deep writing thematic reasons and for silly surface level action and toy reasons. I just love it, and I want all these franchises to succeed. Sentai especially, I mean, it really does mean a lot to me. That being said, I have also been saying on and off since Kyoryuger, Sentai should take a break. Sentai has never gone off the air, even when it's had cancellations. Cancellation? I think Jack is the only one that was actually canceled. It kept going immediately. And that's dangerous, I think, for a program that's over 40 years old. I don't think a break would be bad. Now, I also understand that Toei needs something to fill that profit gap. They can't just say, okay, nothing next year without a plan of a replacement from a merchandise and a ratings perspective. You know, and I've said, like, yeah, bring back Metal Hero or something like that. And I don't know what they'd actually do. I'm not going to pretend I understand the intricacies of TV studio planning. But I do think that they really need to step back and say, maybe Sentai needs to go away for a while. Maybe one more season after this, if that's the plan, give them their 45th. I assume Ryusoulger's not the 45th. I'm going to guess they're going to count Lupat in one, even though with both teams, I think you could consider Ryusoulger the 45th. If I'm counting right, I think that's correct. If I'm not, regardless, this wouldn't be an anniversary season as far as I know. And I'm kind of bouncing around thoughts here, and I'm probably not continuing a thought I was in the middle of, but I really do just want it to be good. I want it to do well, but I want it to be good. Because a good season can also not do well. I'd like it to be successful on all fronts. And if it is, I hope Bandai and Toei take away the right lessons. No, because let's say it's successful, and it's like written well, and it sells well. What if they only say, oh, it was the toy line that did it, and they don't realize maybe the writing was part of it? I don't know if that's something they might do, but I hope they don't, if it is good. Because, like, here's the thing. If I step back from context, if I take away the context of when Ryusoulger's coming out, it looks so cool. It really does. The suits are amazing. I'm one of the people who's wanted a Night Sentai forever. Dino Knights in a vacuum is an amazing idea. I wanted dragons a little more, especially in the context when dinos were 5 years ago. But setting that aside, Dino Knights is so cool. They look so cool. But then you put it into context, and that's when you start getting worried again. And I just want it to be good. I really, really do. And I'm going to watch it. I'm going to hope. You know, I've sat through seasons I haven't liked just because I feel dedicated to it. I don't know if that's good or bad. But I do it. And, you know, I'm the kind of guy who, even if it's a bad season, I want the changer if I can get it, at least. That's my go-to thing. Not that I do it, because money. Oh man, remember Sentai figure arts? That's a different thing to talk about. But yeah, so I think when Ryusoulger starts, I'm gonna just try and record like quick episode thoughts and talk about it. And really just hold out hope, be optimistic. I'm gonna try and go in being optimistic. You know, when I said to myself I was going to do this, I thought, should I do Kamen Rider Zeo as well? And we're kind of knee deep. It would feel weird to like pick up at episode like 18 or 19 and start talking about episodes there, because I'd have to do like a recap thing, and that's not going to happen. But I bring that up because I fully admit I don't enjoy Zeo, and I also went in expecting it to not be good, and I accept that may have affected my perception. Not by much, to be honest, but I accept that it's part of it. And I want to go into this with an open mind and hope that it's good. And maybe if it is really good, the next one can get kind of crazy and weird. Maybe this will surprise us and be crazy and weird in a good way, because Toku, and really any media, but Toku especially, crazy and weird can go in a lot of directions. Like 90 Sentai is crazy and weird, but like I really like Die Ranger, and I'm really liking Kaku Ranger. I don't like Jew Ranger like at all, and they have similar levels of weirdness, and it's just about some of the specifics of how they're executed that made me like or dislike them. And who knows where this will go? Maybe it'll be really cool. I don't know. Man, I hope Red doesn't like scream. I like me some yelling Reds, but I want like a cool Shinken Red leader again. Something like that. It's been a while. We've had some calmer ones, but I want like a cool person. At this point I can just talk about what I hope for, and I hope it's good. It's really what it comes down to. But I don't, there were recently, as I'm recording this, there were videos and discussions going around about if Power Rangers is dead. We're in the transition to Hasbro with Beast Morphers as I'm doing this, and it's interesting to see both sides of this franchise in this weird kind of nebulous state where people are asking that question. And I hope neither of them are. I'm pretty behind on Power Rangers, but I still care about it. I still want to watch some of the seasons. I'm just bad at catching up on TV. But I just want to feel the love I felt for a bunch of other seasons. I started with Gokaiger, and it's my favorite. I know that's not... Gokaiger is my favorite Sentai is by no means an interesting opinion, but it's heartfelt and it's real, and it makes me just rewatching that with a friend recently. Not really recently, but recent enough. It just felt so good. It still felt good. I am loving Kaku Ranger. I've loved some recent seasons. I loved Kyoryuger. I loved Go Busters. Zyuohger was a really solid show. I just want them to capture something that they haven't lately, and it is hard to pin down specifics because, again, I can tell you individually why I don't like the recent seasons, and it is a little different per show. There are some similarities, but it's just something they haven't captured. And again, if you super duper love Q Ranger or Tokuger, I know a lot of people do love Tokuger. I know I'm on a divisive side there, but that's awesome. I don't want to give you crap. If we're friends, I will jokingly rib you for unpopular opinions, but I've got them too. We've all got them about anything. Everyone has unpopular opinions, and it's easy and funny to kind of joke around with them as long as you're not being mean. But like, if you love recent seasons, that's amazing. I'm happy for you. Unfortunately, Japanese children don't seem to. And there needs to be something, I guess. And I don't know what. I hope they recapture it. I mean, the writer, I don't remember if it's the writer or the director, they're kind of the same when it comes to these shows, has never done Toku, which I think could be actually really good. They've done a lot of drama work, I believe, but maybe that'll be good. Maybe that'll help out. Yeah, at this point, I'm sort of just rambling, so I'll probably cut myself off here, but I hope I had something insightful to say here. I feel like I might have. Maybe I was just talking to the void. I guess I'll be back for episode 1 of Ryusoulger. Oh my god. Can I just say, by the way, I believe we have confirmation that their naming scheme is like Ryusoul Red, Ryusoul Blue, blah blah. Man, that doesn't roll off the tongue super well. Red Soldier, Blue Soldier, that would have been cool, especially with the spelling. That's my last weird pedantic point. Thank you, though, if you've been listening to this all the way. I appreciate people who appreciate this stuff and want to talk about and discuss it. I'm on Twitter if you want to scream at me in 280 characters, or I can scream back at you. That's what that website's for. But yeah, thank you. And I'll be back to talk about some Dino Knights. Hopefully some really cool Dino Knights. Episode 1 will be cool, let's be honest. We all know it. But yeah, I want to be optimistic, and I hope I can hold myself up to that. But in the meantime, thank you, and I guess I'll be back with more weird